Welcome to Mythos AI, your source for Cliff's Notes on complex subjects. Join Anna and Phil for yet another engaging conversation.
Ever wondered if we could, build microscopic machines to solve massive problems?
Mm.
That's kind of what today's deep dive is all about.
Yeah.
We're talking about David Baker,
Right.
a scientist who's not just, studying proteins, but actually designing completely new ones
Yeah.
with, mind-blowing applications.
It's true. What's remarkable about Baker is that his work, it really pushes the boundaries of what we thought was possible with protein design. He's taken this incredibly complex field and not only made groundbreaking discoveries, but also found ways to make it accessible to everyone.
Okay, so before we get to the mind-blowing part, remind me, why are proteins such a big deal?
Okay.
I vaguely remember from BioGlass that they're important, but...
Right, they're not just about building muscles. Proteins are like the workhorses of our cells. They do everything, from transporting molecules to catalyzing reactions. Think of them as tiny machines with very specific shapes that determine their function.
Okay, now it's coming back to me. So if you can design proteins with specific shapes, you can potentially control what they do.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's precisely what makes David Baker's work so revolutionary. But to understand how he got there, we need to go back to his roots.
Oh.
He was born in Seattle in 1962
Okay.
to a physicist father and an art historian mother.
Wow.
A unique blend of influences that's really reflected in his work.
Yeah, it's like the perfect recipe for a scientific innovator.
Yeah.
You need that analytical rigor combined with creative vision.
Absolutely.
And growing up near the University of Washington probably didn't hurt either.
Not at all. That kind of environment surrounded by learning and research undoubtedly played a role in shaping his trajectory. It's where those seeds of curiosity are often sown. And in Baker's case, those seeds led him to pursue biology at Harvard.
That's where he really got into proteins.
Exactly. And it's also where he met some of the leading scientists of the time.
Yep.
His PhD advisor at Berkeley, Randy Schekman, went on to win a Nobel Prize himself.
Wow, talk about an inspiring mentor.
Yeah.
What was Baker's research focus at Berkeley?
He was studying how proteins move around inside yeast cells.
Interesting.
And yeast might not sound glamorous,
Right.
but understanding these fundamental cellular processes is crucial. It's like learning the alphabet before you can write a novel.
Right.
And this focus on understanding the intricacies of how proteins work within cells would become a cornerstone of his later breakthroughs.
So he's laying the groundwork for something big. After Berkeley, he heads to UCSF for his postdoc, right?
You got it.
Okay, that's where X-ray crystallography comes in.
At UCSF, he learned how to use this technique, which was the gold standard at the time for figuring out a protein's 3D shape.
Okay.
See, a protein's shape is everything. It dictates how it interacts with other molecules, what it binds to, what it breaks down, basically how it functions.
So it's like if a protein's supposed to fit into a lock, its shape is the key. Get the shape wrong, and it's not doing its job.
That's a good analogy. And what Baker realized was that while X-ray crystallography was powerful, it was also incredibly time-consuming and expensive.
Right.
He started to envision a way to predict a protein's shape just by looking at its building blocks, its amino acid sequence.
So instead of painstakingly trying to visualize the finished protein structure, he wanted to be able to look at the raw ingredients and say, okay, this is how it's going to fold.
Precisely.
Wow.
He wanted to crack the code of protein folding. And that's what he set out to do when he returned to his roots in 1993. Joining the faculty at the University of Washington, he had this ambitious goal to develop software that could predict protein structures computationally.
Enter Rosetta, the program that would change everything.
Right.
This is where things start to get really interesting. Right?
Absolutely. Rosetta wasn't just about speeding up research. It was about fundamentally changing how we approach protein science. It opened up a world of possibilities that we'll dive into right after this.
Okay, we're back and ready to unpack Rosetta a bit more.
Okay.
What's the big deal with predicting protein structures computationally? What doors did that open?
It's about more than just speed, though that was a game changer in itself before Rosetta. Figuring out a single protein structure could take months, even years. Rosetta could do it in a fraction of the time. But the real revolution was in the possibilities for designing brand new proteins, not found in nature.
So not just understanding existing proteins, but actually creating new ones with specific purposes.
Yeah.
Did anyone think that was even possible back then?
It was certainly considered the stuff of science fiction.
Right.
But Baker saw the potential. Imagine being able to design a protein that could, say, break down plastic pollution, or act as a precise drug delivery system within the body.
Those sound like incredibly complex challenges.
Yeah.
How do you even begin to design a protein to do something that specific?
It starts with understanding the relationship between a protein shape and its function. Then it's about using Rosetta to compute what sequence of amino acids, the building blocks of proteins, will fold into the desired shape.
So it's like having a digital blueprint for building a protein with very specific properties.
Yeah.
And Baker's lab has actually had success with this.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
One of the most striking examples is their work on celiac disease.
Okay.
They designed an enzyme, a type of protein, that can break down gluten in the stomach.
So for people with celiac who can't eat gluten because it triggers an immune reaction, this could be revolutionary.
Yeah.
But how do you even test something like that?
It's a complex process, moving from computer models to lab testing and eventually clinical trials.
Right.
But the results have been promising, and it highlights the kind of impact this technology can have on people's lives.
It's like science fiction becoming reality right before our eyes.
It really is.
But Baker's vision went beyond just keeping these discoveries within the lab, right?
Right.
He wanted to make science more accessible, more collaborative. That's where Foldit comes in.
Exactly. Foldit is a brilliant example of Baker's innovative spirit. He recognized that humans have an innate spatial reasoning ability that can sometimes even outperform computers.
Interesting.
So he and his team created this online game where players fold proteins into their most stable shapes.
I've seen screenshots. It looks surprisingly fun for something so scientifically complex.
Yeah?
So are you telling me that people playing a video game were actually contributing to real scientific research?
It's true, and they weren't just messing around.
Oh, wow.
Foldit players helped solve the structure of a retroviral protease that had stumped scientists for over a decade.
No way.
Their findings were even published in the journal Nature.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it is.
So Baker's not just about pushing the boundaries of science. He's finding ways to break down the walls and get everyone involved.
Precisely. And his commitment to collaboration extends to the world of AI as well.
Okay.
He recognized early on the potential of artificial intelligence to further revolutionize protein design, leading to a groundbreaking partnership with DeepMind.
Wait, DeepMind. As in the company that created AlphaGo, the AI that beat a world champion Go player. They're involved in protein design too.
Yes. Wow.
They developed AlphaFold, which is considered the gold standard for AI-powered protein structure prediction. By collaborating with them, Baker's pushing the boundaries even further.
So you've got this incredible synergy happening. Baker's groundbreaking research with Rosetta, the power of citizen science with Foldit, and now the potential of AI with DeepMind. Where does it all lead?
Well, that's where things get really exciting. Baker's vision extends far beyond lab. He wants to see these discoveries translate into real-world solutions.
So we've been talking about mind-blowing science, but how does this actually translate to real-world impact?
Right.
What's Baker's vision for getting these protein designs out of the lab and into our lives?
That's where his entrepreneurial spirit shines. Baker understood that scientific breakthroughs often need a push to reach their full potential. So he co-founded over 20 biotech companies.
Wow, over 20.
That's not just a scientist. That's a whole ecosystem of innovation.
It is.
What are some of these companies focused on?
They're tackling some of our biggest challenges. For instance, there's Neoleukin Therapeutics, which is developing next-generation immunotherapies for cancer treatment.
Okay.
They're essentially designing proteins that can reprogram the immune system to fight cancer cells more effectively.
That's amazing. Using proteins as medicine is one thing, but reprogramming the immune system, that feels like next-level stuff.
It really is. And then there's Rosetta, which is using protein design to create environmentally friendly manufacturing processes.
Wow.
Imagine replacing harsh chemicals and energy-intensive methods with proteins engineered to carry out those same processes in a more sustainable way.
So we're talking about things like greener manufacturing, new medicines, even solutions to plastic pollution.
Yeah.
It's incredible to think this all stems from understanding how these tiny proteins work.
It speaks to the power of fundamental research, of really digging deep into the building blocks of life. And Baker's legacy extends beyond even these companies. Think of all the researchers he's mentored, the collaborations he's fostered.
Right.
He's created a ripple effect of innovation in the scientific community.
He's not just creating solutions, he's inspiring a whole generation of scientists to think differently, to see possibilities where others haven't dared to look.
Right. And that brings us back to the future of protein design And this incredible collaboration with DeepMind, as AI technology continues to advance, imagine the potential. We could be looking at designing solutions to problems we haven't even encountered yet.
It's like we're standing at the edge of a whole new frontier of scientific exploration. It's almost hard to grasp the possibilities.
It is. And that's what makes David Baker's story so captivating. It's a story about scientific curiosity, about pushing boundaries, and about using knowledge to make a real difference in the world.
It's a story that reminds us of the power of human ingenuity and the incredible things we can achieve when we combine creativity, collaboration, and a relentless pursuit of knowledge. It's been an incredible journey exploring the world of David Baker and the groundbreaking field of protein design.
Indeed. Who knows what incredible breakthroughs await us in the future? It's a truly exciting time to be following this field.
It certainly is. And for our listeners, we hope this deep dive has left you as inspired as we are by the boundless possibilities of scientific discovery. Until next time, keep those brains engaged and never stop exploring.
Thanks for listening to Mythos AI. Stay tuned for more concise insights. And remember to hit the like button and subscribe for future episodes.